Hello, welcome back to my channel. For anyone that is new, my name is Alyssa and thank you for tuning in. Today I will be talking about reverse dieting. What is it? Why do we use it? And how to use it. So what is it? Simply put, reverse dieting is just recovering from your dieting phase. And it's really a strategic plan to slowly start tapering back up calories and food intake in order to increase your metabolism. The goal here is to minimize fat gain while putting on more lean mass, aka muscle, and eating more food. I think that's everyone's goal. They want to eat more food, get toned, or put on some lean mass and, reduce the amount of body fat that they put on. And why do we use it? So from my personal experience as a competitive bodybuilder, you are in a dieting phase for such an extended period of time. And in order to get back to your maintenance phase, it's important to strategically taper up calories incrementally week by week or bi-weekly basis, because if you just shock your body with all of this food, it's really not going to be an ideal situation because your body is so vulnerable. Your hormones have been out of whack. All of these calories, and it doesn't even have to be like eating out. Even if you were making food and just having a surplus of carbohydrates, maybe from rice or oatmeal or potatoes, what have you, but your body is basically going to cling onto all of the excess carbs and store it as fat because your body doesn't need that much carbs at that point. As a bodybuilder, you're on such low calories because you're dieting for a show, and your body has adapted to a lower metabolism because you're only having a certain amount of calories at that point. So if a bodybuilder is going to eat the same amount before dieting, they would quickly add weight and unnecessary body fat. So this is used to slowly and systematically increase calories. With any surplus of calories, especially going from, super extreme lean to, back to your maintenance, there is definitely going to be some body fat, and it's important to have some body fat. You may know somebody, or maybe you have been on a diet where you're dieting maybe for an event, you're going on vacation or something like that, and then immediately you go back to eating how you used to, and then you realize that you've gained weight and maybe additional weight. And that's really because this is such a strategic approach in order to make sure that you're not adding that additional weight. Because someone added weight because they didn't systematically increase their calories, then they're going to go back to dieting, and then because they didn't reverse diet, they're adding more weight, and so they're just creating this bad habit of yo-yo dieting, which is very prominent in the diet culture, the fitness culture. And I think it's really important to be educated on this, because at the end of the day, the hardest thing about getting your dream body or creating a healthy lifestyle, it all revolves around nutrition. Because I think anyone can really learn how to work out in the gym. You're really focusing on form and structuring your workouts to progressive overload. But at the end of the day, food is such a touchy subject because of the prominence of fast food, because we're always on the go and people just feel like they don't have the time to make healthy foods for themselves. I think the biggest takeaway when you are dieting, you're reducing your calories so that you can get leaner and lose body fat. So at some point you may plateau and then you have to drop calories again. So this almost kind of takes the same approach where you are slowly increasing your calories. I'll give an example of my intake from, when I was just completed my last show, and then obviously I took the weekend to kind of, eat out, indulge or whatever, and then get back on plan. And then slowly we've been increasing calories. Don't follow what I'm obviously sharing because this specific plan was created for me based on the data that my coach already has on me and whatnot. If you don't work with a coach, you can obviously play a little bit around and see what works for you. But I'm just sharing just to kind of show you like how we've slowly tapered up food. Leading up to my show, I was eating just a little bit over 1,000 calories. I know it's kind of shocking. I'm 5'1" and I'm petite, so that's what we had to get down to for my show. So the weeks leading up to my final show and the end of my prep, the lowest we got down to was protein 125 grams, carbs 50 grams, and fat 35 grams. And again, I didn't start this low during prep, and it wasn't like this the entire time. This was just the final weeks to get to where I needed to be. And then starting my reverse diet for weeks 1 and 2, we increased my protein to 135, which is where I've been kind of maintaining at and started with at prep. Carbs 120 grams, fats 45 grams. And so you'll notice that in the following weeks, we really only increase carbs mainly. Currently, we dropped my protein a bit, and then now my carbs and fat are in a range of 175 to 180 and 45 to 50. So again, this is just to show you a snapshot of what my coach created for me. I'm not saying that you should follow this by any means at all. And again, I haven't even reached maintenance yet, so I'm still in my reverse diet. And you'll see that just like a dieting phase, it's incremental, it takes time. And the same thing with the reverse dieting, it's incremental, it takes time because you are again recovering from your dieting phase. By using this approach, you're increasing your metabolism because now that your body knows that you're not having to maintain or adapt to a certain low calorie diet, now you want to make sure that your body is able to kickstart your metabolism because now you need to burn more energy. It's not sustainable to eat 1,200 calories or less year round because that's just not how your body functions. Your body again is going to still be out of whack. So many negative effects that'll happen on your body. Your sleep will be affected. Some women lose their menstrual cycle during dieting depending on how lean they get, especially bodybuilders. There's just so many other variables, and that's why by using this approach as well, it's just easier to maintain your weight and keep the weight off. You can totally recomp your body. There are definitely a few ways that you can implement this. First, I think it's important to know, when you are dieting, how have you been tracking your progress? You shouldn't need to change your approach or your preferences in tracking because that'll just cause extra stress that you don't need. Personally, for me, I track my macros. That eventually leads to my overall calories. Determining your maintenance calories. Obviously, this varies from person to person. There's many online calculators out there. You can also just do it by specific formulas. But again, I covered this in my macros 101 and how to track your macros. So you can typically use those type of calculators for finding your maintenance, finding what your calories should be or what your macros should be in order to lose body fat, or also to bulk if you obviously need to eat more calories because you want to put on more size. And then really depends what your macro split should be. It's recommended that for protein, you should have 1 gram of protein per pound of body fat. And again, this can vary depending on your lifestyle. For someone who is constantly in the gym, weight training, an athlete, wanting to put more size, definitely should follow that recommendation. For someone who is not really looking to put on that much size or not really a competitor and really not that strict about it, you can definitely do less, like 0.8 grams of protein per body fat. And then really choose the rate of progression. It's not a sprint. Don't try to increase your calories just so that you can eat back to your normal level immediately. Definitely give your body some time. I'm about 9 to 10 weeks post my competition season. I'm still not at my maintenance yet. I've been at the same macros for about 2 to 3 weeks or so. But honestly, that's on me because, I may decide to go eat out on the weekends, or, I have an upcoming vacation. So my coach knows, let's just stay at this level for now, and then we'll like assess when I come back from my trip. There is a lot of flexibility and fluidity because, again, I don't have an upcoming show right now, so it's my responsibility. Like, I can't blame anybody else, and I accept that. I will say, honestly, my reverse dieting has been a roller coaster because, now that I'm not competing, I want to go eat out, and there's social events and stuff like that. So I just like remind myself, if I am gonna go out and eat, that day I'm gonna like skip a meal or eat very low calorie meals that day, and then kind of buffer that with the days before and after as well. It is a journey and it can be tough, but you have to just kind of give yourself grace, and that's really what I tell myself. And there are no guarantees with reverse dieting. There's no guarantee that you're gonna not gain any body fat or that you're not gonna gain any weight. Like, every body is unique, and there are just so many, normal changes that happen. As you get older, the ability for your body to adapt slows down because your metabolism slows down. If you are stressed, if you have a lot of environmental factors that aren't suitable for your goals, then yeah, there's gonna be some setbacks, and you might plateau. So it's just really becoming aware of those factors and, just trying to adapt to it. It's not an all or nothing approach. And my biggest thing is just, experiment and, learn more about your body. Like, that's really why I love bodybuilding and love science, because the body is just so fascinating and every body is unique. So, just have fun with the process. Alright, I think the video is done. I'm kidding. Whether you're in a cutting phase or in a bulking phase, it's just really important to make sure that you're also eating the right foods. There's just so many other things that you can't count for when you're eating out all the time. This past weekend, I did eat out more than once, and the scale did go up, but you also have to remind yourself, you don't gain fat or gain a crazy amount of weight in just one day. The biggest thing is water weight. Something to note and to keep in mind, 3 to 4 grams of water can be stored with glycogen, which is basically stored up carbs in your muscles and in your liver. If you're eating out, also if you're eating in a surplus, you're going to hold water weight, and you may even feel bloated. And so it's just to keep that in mind. If you're gonna make the decision to eat out, or if you're gonna make the decision to eat more, then you have to understand that it might affect your body, and you're gonna see those changes. You have to be okay with the decisions that you make, and this is like a hard conversation I had to have with my coach when I first started bodybuilding, because a lot of people are uneducated about not only their own body, but just how the body works in general. I just realized that my lamp color changed. Let me change it back. All right. So what was I saying? Anyways, so that's really why I started this YouTube channel, because I do want to help other people understand the basics and the fundamentals and how they can apply this to their own lives. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you like this video. Let me know in the comments down below if you have any questions. I am happy to continue to build on this topic or more topics. I'll see you next time.